Hello. Hello. Let's just get started. Seems like they are taking a longer time, and my internet has started misbehaving. So I think it's better we get started. Yeah. Okay. So Martin, I hope you were able to install the you are able to install the dependencies. Yeah.
Yes, I was. I even git cloned what you gave us.
Okay. That is awesome. Yeah. So I think now we can get started. Yeah. I think we can get started. Yeah. So let me share my screen. I will be sharing so that we can get started. Yeah. So now we are on the same page. Yeah. Right now, I believe we are all in the same page. And yeah. So zoom in. Zoom in. Okay. So I believe this one will be perfect for you, Ambrose, when you are reviewing the video, you viewing the video. So is that okay for you, Ambrose? Hello, Ambrose. Is the font okay? Okay, so you should have something like this on your end, something like this. So you should have
Yes, this is okay.
okay, nice. So since you have already downloaded and git croned the boilerplate, you should have something like this. So basically, what I've done here, yes.
Go on. Sorry.
Okay. So basically, what I've done is that I've required the contract, the Celo contract kit. So Celo contract kit is a library that allows you to interact with the Celo blockchain. And I've required also Web3, so which will be the provider. So Web3 is there are normally two. There is ETH.js and Web3. So for me, I normally use Web3 for connecting to the desired network. Yeah. And then once you have defined the network that you want to connect to, whether it's the testnet or the mainnet, it will go correctly. So for Ethereum, it doesn't really require you to have a contract kit. It doesn't really require you to have a contract kit. You only need Web3, and then you specify the network that you are using. Yeah, and then you are also required to create an Infura account so that you can be able to connect to a particular Ethereum node. Yeah, to a particular Ethereum node. Then I've got to get the account that will be used for deployment, the account that will be communicating with Truffle and such. So I have utils down here under utilities, all utils. We have get account, a method get account. So this one is requires you to generate a private key for this, which will be under the which will be under the secret, which will be generated, which will be auto-generated. So I'm going to show you how to learn that so that you can have your own account. I believe the cron does not have a secret. Let me see if it does. Okay, it does have a secret, but you can delete the secret so that you have your own. You have your own. You have your own. You have your own account, which will be generating right now, so that you can have your own account. And yeah, so just a minute.
Should we delete the secret, including the file, or it's just the key?
The entire file, like .secret. So delete .secret so that we can be able to start from there. And just a minute. So okay, hope you guys have been able to do that. And welcome, Devin. Welcome. Give me a minute. Okay. So yeah, so we have our boilerplate working. So I hope, Tevin, you are also able to set up the boilerplate. Yeah, that I had shared. Tevin, you can type on the chat if your mic is not working. Okay. So the requirement for this session was you need to have Node.js. You also need Yarn Package Manager or NPM. You also need Truffle. So hope you got the three, Truffle and also Git. Yeah. So once we have done that, so we have deleted our secret. So if you haven't deleted your secret, yeah. So for those who have joined us late, Dylan and Tevin, under utils, I was explaining the folder structure. Under utils, there is two folders. There are two files. One is create account. So this one helps you to create the account, and it will console log your account address. And then here we have get account. So this one is getting your account, so that this the account that will be used to deploy the contract, the smart contract, and it will generate a file .secret. So this .secret, you are actually not supposed to deploy the .secret. Yeah. So this is my private key. This is not the deal. Actually, I don't really use this account. So if you are hoping that you will find something there, you will just find test sellers. Yeah. Then we have, so in your croned boilerplate, you should have the seller dollar, and you Uniswap cron the two tokens. So you should have two tokens. The two tokens, you should have the two tokens. Yeah. So which I have included the decimal factor and some minor changes which we did. Yeah. So then we have the contract APIs. So it should be empty also. It should also be empty. And then this other one is the components. So it's app.js main and nav.js, navbar.js. So this one we're gonna use them later, but now we need to first of all see how we generate our wallet. Yeah. So the command is quite easy. You will just do, if you're using Yarn, you will just do Yarn account, and it should display your account. So it should display your account. It should access these utils.create, and then you should have your account. So once you have your account, you will need to visit developer. So this is my account address. So this is my account address. You will need to visit cello.org / let me paste the link under the chat. So visit that link, and then first of all, you need to copy your account. So let me open my browser so that we are able to do this seller funding. We need to fund our account so that we can start development. So that we can be able to so there are some sessions here that are So paste it under paste that URL on the browser so that you are able to fund your test account. So what you need to do is to copy this one. And then paste it here under test address so that we get funded. So the funding for Celo test tokens, for Celo it's 5, and for CUSD you normally get 10 CUSD, and of late they have added the Celo Euro, so you get Celo Euro for testing your development. Yeah. So they really help you to test and also to be able to develop. So you have to say that you are not a robot, and then you will get funded with test sellers. So hope you have been able to do up to that point. So done. So I've been funded. I've been able to be, I've been funded. And yeah, so we are ready to start for our development now. Yeah. So anybody who has not been able to do up to there?
Hello. I'm following, but my Visual Studio has a problem. There's the fat cursor. I'm trying to Google it right now.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else who has a problem?
Jordan, instead of yarn, I'll use npm. So what command I should use?
So for
account?
npm, use npm account. Just use npm account. It will work. Should work.
I think, Jordan, it's npm run account.
Oh yeah, npm run account. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
One thing, Jordan.
Yes.
I noticed on the components, you have the main.js, but in this starter, in the starter code, I can't see the file, the main.js file.
Okay. That shouldn't be a big problem. This one is I was actually redoing the entire thing. So don't worry that much. We'll be able to build it together.
So,
yeah. So we'll
I
be
got
able to,
error.
what kind of error? Just share on the group. Share on the group. Yeah.
Okay, I'll put a screenshot on group.
Okay. Awesome. So yeah. So having done that, you should be good to get started. So once, for guys who are using npm, do npm run account, and for yarn, just learn do yarn account. Yeah. So do yarn account, and also get to fund your Celo wallet. Get to fund your Celo wallet. Yeah. So that is the faucet link for funding your Celo wallet, so that we can be able to begin our development. Yeah. So it should generate. Yes. Yes, Ambrose.
Sorry, I don't, the patch, we are working with a patch.
I sent out a document on the group, so what you had to do was to download the starter code. I had given some few steps. So you need to git clone the starter code or boilerplate from the link that I had provided from GitHub, and then do npm install or yarn install. And also you need to have Node.js installed. You need Truffle. So we are working with the boilerplate. We are working with the boilerplate. npm count. So Iram, you were you able, did you download the boilerplate all? Because it seems to be missing the account script, the account script. It doesn't have the utils. It doesn't have the utils. Hello, Iram. Hello, Iram. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes.
Okay. So if you downloaded the boilerplate, you should have something like this. You should have a file structure which is similar like to this one. So yeah. Hello, Ambrose. Ambrose is not available. Okay. Let's just continue. Okay, so yeah, for those who have not been able, we will have another session. We can have another session tomorrow or at the end of the session, and then we will I will be able to help you or to sort you out. Yeah. So for now, let's just continue, and then all the questions will be answered later. Yeah. If that's okay. Yeah. So yeah, so you should have something like that once you have been able to fund your account. So funding your account, I've posted the link for funding or for getting test silos. And yeah, so this one we had already done. We had already done the ERC20. So for those who are joining us for the first time, we had already done the ERC20, and we said that an ERC20 has 9 mandatory functions. It has the function transfer, approve. It need to have a function transfer from, and also a balance of, and it needs to have a symbol, name of the token, and the total supply of the token. So these are basic, a really basic ERC20 token. But the more you practice, the more you will be able to see that an ERC20 token can be upgraded to be even more than what we have right now. Yeah. So they are supposed to be 2, so that we can be able to have that effect of staking and unstaking. Because what we are going to create next is a yield farming smart contract that helps you to stake your coins and also unstake your coins. And when you stake, you'll be getting rewards for staking. So yes, Ambrose.
Yeah, hi Jordan.
Yes.
Sorry, I got thrown out. My network free.
Okay.
Please, can you expand your VS window? Some some code are truncated towards the end.
So okay, let me see if it can be. Is that okay now?
Yes. Yeah,
let me see if I can switch the screens. The other one is Okay. Okay, for now, let's have the focus right now at this folder structure. So different people use different structures. Different people use different structures. So at some point you may see that this file folder structure does not really work for you. If it doesn't really work for you, you can restructure it. So, but for now, since I wanted us to use one node modules, so that we also minimize our space without having to install a lot of node modules and stuff, we're going to use one. So, but in a later project, we can do the normal way or the standard way. Yeah. So yeah, so once we have funded our account, we should have the secret, and we should have our account having a balance, at least a balance that can be used to do the deployment of the contracts. So yeah. Just a moment, there's something that I'm missing on my end, on my folder, and that could be migrations. Yeah. So I think I've accidentally deleted my migration folder. So you should also have a migration folder. So migrations, yeah. So yeah, so we'll start with the migrations folder. It should have, let me just, there, should have that. So our migration folder should have initial migration. So the initial migration is have the migration script. This one is automatically generated. The migration folder, the migrations not folder, but script. It's automatically generated once you do the Truffle pet shop, or the boilerplate that you are going to use. It's automatically generated. So this, like the migration scripts that is found on the MongoDB or Laravel or PH. The other Yi framework that is found in the Yi framework when you are migrating your database. So the migration script is used to migrate the contracts into different networks. So you must have it, and yeah. So it has the normal variable names, all reserved word address, uint, owner, message.sender, who is supposed to be the owner of the contract. Yeah. So the owner of the contract is the deploying address, the address that we have already created. So it will automatically pick that address from our Truffle config. So inside Truffle config, we have this part, a sync function, which is a sync function with a wrapper that is wrapping our contract, not our contract, but our account address together with the private key. So that is what the address that will be used for deployment in different networks. Yeah, and then here we have the contracts and ABIs. So this is the directory where Truffle will be able to find the contract, so that it can be able to deploy the contracts. So inside the migration, there is another folder that will be, there is another file that will be able to add. It's normally written underscore. So this is the way you write the migration files. Yeah, but the naming does not really matter, but it's good to follow the standards. Yeah. So once we have created this, the cello and the clone, we need to like create another deploying a script for deploying the contracts, a script for deploying the three smart contract actually. Yeah. And then we have the other folder. We have the other folder, which is the contracts. So the contracts generally contains the contracts. It generally contains the contracts. And then we have the ABIs folders. So ABIs, sometimes the other folder structure where you have the client and the server. So the server here being the smart contract and the client being the front end. So this folder is normally also written as contracts, but I sometimes like to name it ABIs because it's really easy to differentiate the two. So yeah. So the other thing is the truffle.config. So this one we had already discussed, but for the sake of the people or the guys who are joining us today, that is Vincent. Truffle.config is like the configuration file for your database, the way you configure your databases and stuff when you're developing a Mongo, a Node.js application, or the configuration files for your databases and other components. So consider Truffle config as that. And it contains the connection. So we have mainnet, we have Alpha Horus. It has different, so think of this as the production development and production, the way we normally have a development database and a production database. But now we have the local development, and we have Alpha Horus with test network and then mainnet. So the difference between development and Alpha Horus or the testnet is that a testnet offers features similar to mainnet, and like for local development, there are some features you don't have. You don't have a lot of testing capability when you are doing the test network. The development, that is the local development, you don't have a lot of resources, you don't have a lot of features, you don't have you are constrained, like you are limited to the possibilities that you can do. Yeah. Then we have the below here we have the compiler versions. So just like the way we did just like the way we did in the Remits IDE, you can still specify the compiler version. You can also specify the compiler version and the compiler settings. That is optimizer enabled and runs 200, and then the EVM version, that is the Ethereum virtual machine version. Yeah, so there is Petersburg, there is London, there is Constantinople. There is a lot of EVM versions. So currently it's the London one, yeah. EVM, yeah. And then up here is the configuration of the connection to the network. So which node do you want to connect to? So you can even go a step further. If you want to set these as environment variables, you can do that. You can create a .env so that you have all the environment variables that are needed for better production or for better development. You can create a .env so that you use it like here. So yeah, the development is similarly to how you do a full stack development or the normal development process. Yeah. Yeah, so having done that, I think now we are comfortable to get started to our yield farming contract. So the yield farming contract is the only thing which is remaining, and hopefully by Friday we'll be able to do the testing. So you see how to create a unit testing for smart contract, and then we'll be able to start doing the React native on Monday. So yeah, so let's get started, and hope you guys follow along as we do this. Yeah. So just a few minutes, and then yeah, good. So under your folder that is contracts, under contracts here. So under contracts, so you can right click and create new, or you just go up there. But I like just doing create, and then so create a file called yield farm SOL. So yieldfarm.sol. That is the Solidity extension. And so remember what we said, we have to declare. So when you're doing local development, the license issue is not really that much, but make sure that you are able to put that. Yeah. So make sure you are able to add that. So now we can expand the entire screen for this. Yeah. So you remember to add the license, but for local development, the warning, it doesn't really give you a lot of warning. So we are good to code without the license, but make sure you add the license. Yeah. So we will have to initiate or declare our pragma. So pragma solidity, and then you have the version of your compiler. So remember, you can do this way. You can do this way, like here. You can do this way. So you can do this way. You can declare the compiler version this way, or just like this. So 0.5.0. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It doesn't really. It means that from version 0.5 all the way up. Yeah. Then once we have done that, so you remember. I hope you guys were able to go through the files. There were some tutorials that I sent on the group about importing and inheritance of smart contracts. So we'll be using these two smart contracts. So we'll be using the $0 and the UB swap cron contracts. So we'll need to import them. So we'll import $0 and then we'll also import this other contract, UB swap cron, and then yeah. So once we have been able to import, we'll declare our contract. So remember, declaring a contract, we say that contract is declared using a capital letter. So, and using the reserved all, what that is contract yield. So our contract is called yield farm. So yield farming is a is a term used in DeFi. It's a term that is used in DeFi to mean farming and everything. Yeah. So this one does not really have a lot of things. So we'll just declare the string, the name of the contract. So fabric doesn't really have like a standard to follow when your standard name equals. So we can just call it we can just call it token farm or yield farm. You can just call it any name. You can give it just a name, farm that is related to the token. So then we need to have an address, which is of Fabric, the owner of the smart contract. So then we need to use now these contracts. So we need to use these two contracts. So we'll first declare Ubi swap clone as Fabric Ubi swap clone. So this one should, the first one should be capital because we are calling this contract. So we are calling this contract the name of the contract. So that's why I told you guys you need to name your contracts in capital letters so that you are able to yeah. So then we have Celo dollar, which will also be Fabric, and C SD token. So there is another way that you can use apart from this way, apart from declaring or importing and using the smart contract this way. There is another method that is used, like yield farm is Ubiswap, comma, and Celo. So that is also a way that you can be able to use. Yeah. So once you have maybe if you want to upgrade this smart contract, this the ERC20 token, you can do that. Celo is ownable, comma is the entrance something. You can do that if you have a bunch of smart contracts. But remember, you must first of all import the way we have imported them here. Yeah. So there is that way for importing and using the smart contract is yield farm is all this other way, this other method. Yeah. Then we also need to create a public address for all the people who are staking their coins, whether it's Ubiswap or CUSD. So we need to have a mapping or an array of all those stakers. So we'll have to declare address, which is an array, and it will be public. We call it stakers. So this will be stakers. Then we'll have a mapping. We'll also have a mapping of all the staking balances. So people who have stake and their balances. So we'll have a mapping of that. That will be address. Function with uint. So it will be a uint because it will be balances. It will be numbers. And then it should be public staking balance. So here we'll have all the balances of and so we have already done the balance. We have already mapped or created an array of all the addresses here. the stakers. And then now what we are doing, we are getting the balance of all the staked coins together with their addresses. So then here we'll have a mapping, another mapping of people who has staked, whether they have staked or is staking. Yeah. So two variable for mapping, and they will be booleans. So address equals a function that is boolean, and it should be public. So if has staked, then we'll have another one that is staking. So who is staking? Address, it should be boolean also, and then it should be public is taken. Yeah. So once we have been able to do that, we can create a constructor with the two coins, with the two tokens, that is Uniswap and CUSD, and also the owner, so the owner of the smart contract. So we'll actually do two functions. We'll create the first function. The first function here will be staking. Here will be staking tokens. So yeah, the first one will be staking tokens. So we'll start by staking the CUSD token, and then we'll have the second function, which will be unstaking and unstaking tokens. So when you are unstaking the CUSD, and the last one will be issuing tokens. So people, all the guys who have staked CUSD, so this one will be unstaking CUSD and staking CUSD. Yeah. So all the guys who have done staking for the CUSD, all the people who have staked the CUSD can be issued or can now start earning tokens, earning Uniswap. So if they have been able to stake, they can be able to start earning Uniswap. So the last function will be issuing Uniswap. Yeah, issuing Uniswap. So yeah, but before then, we need to have created a constructor function that gets the Uniswap and CUS dollar to public. Yeah. So need to write a constructor. Yeah. Then we declare the Uniswap. So Uniswap clone, and remember, if it's in a function, you have to write the variables differently when it comes to solidity. So parameters differently. So we have Uniswap clone as the parameter. So you need that, and then we'll have $. So this is coming from these guys. So it's coming from this, and then being passed here as parameters. So underscore CUSD okay, and then the constructor has to be public. And then now we need to have Uniswap. bswap equals parameters. Then here we have C USD equals that. Then we have owner. So remember the owner we declared here. So we have been able to now say that this is that. Yeah. So we need to get the message of the sender. The address of the sender, or the address of the smart contract, the deploying smart contract. Yeah. So once we have done that, we are good to go. So let's write the last function, and then the first function, that is function take tokens, which will have uint amount, and it should be public. So remember, if you make it public, it will be visible for everybody to see. And yeah, so just like the other function transfer, just like function transfer, just like function transfer, just like function transfer, just like function transfer, you need to check the balance. So first of all, you need an amount of the amount of coins that you want to stake, the amount of coins you want to stake. So you have to check you need to pass in you need to first of all check the amount, whether the person who is staking whether they have the amount, and the staking amount should be greater. It should be greater than zero. It should be greater than zero. So then again, you have to do the same. But yeah, so that you don't yield farming, just like the normal farming, you cannot get bellies if you have planted 0 bellies. So you cannot stake 0 bellies and expect to get 20 bellies, or to get a reward for staking 0 bellies. So mathematically and also physically, it's not right. Yeah. So even I want to bring Jesus into this, but you must have something to earn. Yeah. So we will require an amount. The amount should be greater, all. So here you can pass in an error message. Amount cannot, or amount cannot be 0. So you can pass in a message there that says amount is not 0. So long before Solidity was upgraded, there was no passing this message. So you could only get an error. You could only get a message, but you wouldn't have like a specific message that says what is long. So the transaction would only throw an error, but it wouldn't be specific why. So with an upgrade, right now you can be able to pass in a message there and say something like that. Yeah. So then remember we are staking CUSD. Remember we are staking CUSD. So CUSD token dot transfer from. So you remember the function that we said transfer from. is normally used in exchanges, this function. This function. So it's normally used in exchanges. So you have to do an allowance, and then an address is given a permission to spend your coins, permission to spend your coins. So since we are creating a smart contract that is doing yield farming, which is not part of the initial contract, we need to use the transfer from so that we can be able to spend these coins in a yield farming. So the perfect function for to do the transfer will be transfer from. Now remember our function transfer from the previous session, we had said that it will always require the balance. The balance has to be greater or equals to the balance, has to be greater or equals to, not the balance, but has to be greater or equals to the value that the balance that you have. The value that you want to spend must be what you have in your wallet. It doesn't have to be zero. If it's zero, then it will always throw an error. So yeah. So it will do all those things, and it will emit a transfer event. So this already is covered. So you see the reason why I was saying that you really need to write good code and test them and use the standard required by the industry, because your smart contract won't be for your own benefit. It will be used by other smart contracts outside once you have deployed. So if you want your smart contract to be used in like, let's say for interoperability and some other function, you need to be meticulous when you are writing this code. Yeah. So you may have an ERC20 token, but you don't have a yield farming, and you want it to you want your ERC20 integrated to the Ubisoft DEX or the Mula market. So you have to make it compatible with the other. Yeah. So yeah, so we'll use CUSD.token transfer, CUSD token transfer, and then we'll pass in the values the transfer function takes. So transfer from has 3 parameters. It takes the address and another address of the 2 and the value. So in this case, we'll have the address of the owner, the address from the sender, and then address this. So this address will be the address of the smart contract and the address of the person who is doing the spending. Yeah. And then the amount that wants to be staked. So this will be the address of the smart contract. So you want to stake it under the yield farm smart contract, and the sender of the token, the one who want to stake. Yeah. Then yeah, so the tokens are transferred into the smart contract, the yield farming smart contract, this smart contract. Yeah. So so we need to do the updating of the balance, this staking balance. So we need to update the staking balance. So initially the balance will start with 0. It won't have anything. So once we have transferred, we need to update it and have a track. We need to track. That's why we created a mapping of all these balances. So we need to see how many coins have been staked in our platform. Yeah. So staking balance. So will be the sender. So this the array of all the addresses, the guys who, all the addresses who of people on wallets that have staked, they will be added in the staking in this mapping. So yeah. So let's say, for example, a particular address has staked 10, another one has staked 20, another one 30. So they will all be added here. Then it will be equals to staking balance with the address plus the amount they have staked. That's the amount they have staked. So yeah, plus the amount they have staked. Yeah. Then once we have done that, so we have updated the balance. We also need to add users or the addresses to stakers array only if they haven't staked already. So we need to push, or we need to update the staking status. We need to update the staking status. So if they have staked, if they have already staked, that won't be a problem. If they have already staked, that won't be, they will have to be updated. They will have to be updated. So they will have to check whether they have staked previously, so that the balance have to correspond. So let's say, for example, you started staking 10. Then we need to add you again, so that the staking balance is also the same. Yeah. So let's do the check-in. So has staked or is staking. So it should be if staked, we need to push, check from the array of these addresses, or the mapping of this address, whether the address is already available. msd.sender and then we should have stakers. So if it's not available, if the address is not available, then it should be pushed to stakers. It should be pushed to this array. Then below here now, we need to update the status. So we need to update the staking status. That will be is staking to, so the address dot sender, which will be equals to true. Then this one has state will be equals to also true. So it should be equals to true. So yeah. So for unstaking, it will be the same. So this status will do the same check-in. We'll do whether they are staking, and then we'll change the status to they are not staking. So is staking to false, and staking balance. So reset the balance, reset the staking balance to 0, so that staking balance cannot be 0. So if you want to unstake, you'll just click the unstaking. So let's say, for example, you have already earned a lot of coins, and you have made a lot of money, so you can unstake your coins. So that's how you actually do earn passive income. You earn passive incomes by staking, and it really, but you have to look at the project long-term goals and stuff like that, so that when it comes to staking coins, so for like Ethereum, I've been staking Ethereum and it has been really doing quite well for me, and also Celo has been doing quite good for me, staking, and yeah. So once you have been able to see how you have made enough, a lot of money, and it goes together with your objectives and goal, then you can do the staking. You can do the unstaking. So that one will be able to do on Friday. So what I want us to do next is to at least have a feel of how to deploy to the testnet using the CMD or the VS Code. So once you have done that, once you have written your code like this, you'll be good to go. So let me save everything that I've written here. So let me save this one, and then so we'll have, so the script for deployment or deploying the contracts, the contract is quite simple. Let me share it on the chat. So it's Truffle migrate -- network alpha holes. So whichever network you want, you want to select, you have to write it that way. So that's why we had to write it like this on Truffle Config. So if we want main network, we'll just do Truffle migrate -- network mainnet. But since we want to deploy it in the testnet, we'll just write Truffle migrate -- network alpha holes. Yeah. So well, fingers crossed. This is the most tricky part in development. So yeah. So that, let's see if it compiles and if it deploys. So if you had already done the funding, it should really work. Sometimes the network is the issue. So you really need a strong network. And also you need to make sure that your account is funded. Yeah. So let's see if it's gonna compile and deploy our contract. And later on, it should be able to create ABIs here. It should be able to create ABIs, contract ABIs. So yeah, should be able to create ABIs. So let's give it a few moments and then it should get started. Yeah. So meanwhile, is there any questions up to there? Hello? Hello? Yes, Ambrose.
Yeah, Jordan.
Yes.
The Ubisoft clone. Please, where did you get the file from? Is it from the repo?
Yeah, it's supposed to be on the repo. It's supposed to be on the GitHub clone, the one that I shared on the group. It should be there. You should have the
Sorry.
you should have the files from the Ubiswap clone. So the Ubiswap clone has the starter kit has the two files, the CUS Dora and the Ubiswap clone. It has the two files. So the only thing that it doesn't have, it's the yield farm. It's the yield farm. Hope the others got the same. Please confirm if you got the same. Hello, guys. So you should have the clone available.